So all these hominids, all right, they have a branching structure, don't they? And as we know, the original meaning for word rib is not an actual anatomical human being's rib. It's an appendage, or it could even be the other side of a mountain. So you've got the top of the mountain, then you've got the diversion. You've got one side and the other side. Or there's lots of other ways it's used in the Bible to mean appendage. So what is a branch? Whether it's from a literal tree or whether it's from a genealogical tree, that's a branch. It's like a rib. So ribs are branching structures also. So we've looked at these hominid types, right? We've looked at how the word rib could be used as appendage interchangeably. And even I came across, this was interesting, it's actually called a rib plant. I always thought it was called a cheese plant, but I looked at it the other day, it's called a rib plant. And that's because, yeah, look, the space is in there. So we even use ribs ourselves in a modern world as a metaphor for the structure of plants, the branching structure of these leaves. And I came across this some time ago. I found it interesting. It's a marketing image for some World Hunger Organization, but this person chose to fuse or show the similarity of wheat, right? The branches off of wheat with a rib cage as well, which is it's a great design thing, but it also sort of makes my point in a artistic way. So if we look at the body, and yeah, in the previous talk I've talked a lot about how everything is branching structure in the body and the universe. Then in the same way we see branching structures in trees. And also interesting to back up my case that when it talks about God put the man into a deep sleep, it doesn't just say sleep, it says deep sleep. And what is the way that mafia, for example, in movies talk about when they kill somebody, they say he's sleeping with the fishes. So sleeping is often a metaphor for death. So what if sleeping is a metaphor for death, what would deep sleep mean? Basically, it means extinction. So what happened to all those different hominids, all those different branches of the hominid, apart from Homo sapiens? They all became extinct. So deep sleep, man was put into a deep sleep means all those different hominids became extinct. Not necessarily by some meteor or God's direct hand, but it just happened. So all the hominids, all the branches, right, became extinct. And then from a rib, meaning from an appendage or from an offshoot of those branches, came mankind, came Eve, the mother of mankind. And after I came up with this interpretation, I looked through the Bible for examples to find out, has the Bible ever used the term rib as a metaphor for people or even groups of people? And here in Daniel 7:5, it says, because Daniel was like the Old Testament version of the book of Revelations. It was a very apocalyptic book with visions and symbolic ideas. So here in Daniel 7:5, it says, he was having some kind of vision or dream. It says, and there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. It was raised up on one of its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. Let me read that. Let's change the view. Let me read that one more time. And there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. It was raised up on one of its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. That's a pretty scary image. And modern scholars, biblical scholars, seem to think that this verse here refers to, I think it's the Assyrian Empire or the Roman Empire, which conquered previous empires like the Babylonians and I forgot what the other ones were. But so it's a metaphor for the latest, greatest despotic empire that's risen up and has consumed the others. So here it's using a rib to mean a people. Like one rib is the Babylonians, another rib is the Mesopotamians, and all the other ones that they conquered, the Canaanites. So here it definitely refers to people as rib. So we have an example of the Bible referring to a whole people as rib. So it's not a stretch, I think, to say that Adam's rib really means an offshoot of the species of hominid, the Homo sapien offshoot. And all the rest of the hominid went extinct. So there you've got the deep sleep. And then you have the offshoot. So here we are. There's a literal image of a rib. There's the branching of a tree. And here's the way we represent different evolution of different species. So all of these species became extinct. God put man into a deep, deep sleep. All hominids, which means man basically became into a deep sleep. And of one branch, this branch here, one rib, God formed Eve. And yeah, that's my talk.